Okay, welcome everyone. I am so glad that you've all decided to join me today. If you don't know me yet, you're watching the recording. My name is Ali Mona, and I am super passionate about teaching people about the power of natural solutions in really every area of their lives. So, if this is your first introduction to essential oils, welcome. It's going to be a super fun class. And I want to start with a story. I was like, oh, should I tell a story? Should I not tell a story? But it's so funny. I just have to tell the story. And this is what actually got me using oils in the bedroom in the first place. So my husband and I are having a moment. We run out of protection. So I send him downstairs and I live in China, by the way. So he grabs something, he comes on up. We are in the middle of it. And I was like, babe, I think we have to stop. Something's wrong. And he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, something's just a little off. Let me see the box of condoms that you bought. So I look on the box of condoms. Now, mind you, my husband does not read Chinese. I read Chinese. He does not read Chinese. And he bought the fire and ice condoms. And so obviously things were happening, down there that were not very pleasant. And after using oils and natural solutions for over 6 years now, I was devastated at the thought of like what chemicals are now literally burning inside of me. And I just thought, man, there's got to be a better way to use natural solutions. Because on the one side, part of it was like, hey, maybe we could play around with this and this could be kind of fun. So the moral of that story that we decided was that I was never, ever, hi, Elsa. I was never, ever, ever going to send my husband downstairs, the one who cannot read Chinese, to get anything that was, going to be intimate or anything that was going to be super important. But that is really what got me into learning about natural solutions in this particular area of our wellness. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a specialized topic, right? And it's usually not an area that people begin their essential oil journey necessarily, although it absolutely could be, because intimacy is so critical, especially in a marriage relationship, an intimate relationship. And it's also something that can be so fleeting, right? And we really need tools to hold onto it and to make sure that we're prioritizing this part of our world. It's so important to talk about intimacy, to make it less taboo. I was like, I have to tell this story, because if I don't, I'm just feeding into the taboo nature of intimacy. And I really feel like it's really important to have natural, safe, and effective tools on hand to deepen our intimacy in all of our relationships. This is not just about sexual intimacy. There's emotional intimacy and mental intimacy, and of course physical intimacy, spiritual intimacy, right? There's so many different types of intimacy, and oils really do run the gamut on all of them. So for this class, of course, we're going to be talking specifically about intimacy, kind of in an intimate relationship, but also, some self-love, some self-care, which is one of my favorite things about doTERRA's wonderful products. So a little bit about me, now that you've known like the intimate part. If you guys are just joining us, you have to watch the recording and hear the beginning of my crazy story. But I've been using doTERRA for about 6 years now and teaching for the last 5 years. And it really never ceases to amaze me how these 100% pure oils radically change people's lives for the better. So I think that you're in for a real treat today. Before we jump in, I want to give a quick overview of how this class is going to go. So first, we're going to have a little conversation about libido. That's an important word for you to know. Hey, Frida, see you joining us. It's often also, of course, a taboo topic, and I'm going to attempt to not blush through this presentation. And then next, I'm going to explain really briefly how essential oils actually work. If you don't use oils in your home and you're new to the world of natural health, I want to give you some, some maybe ladders to grab onto, so you really have confidence that this is not just all in your head. These oils actually do work. And then I'm going to break down a list of essential oils that can be used to enhance romance and excitement in a romantic setting. And then lastly, we're going to go through some of the most popular ways to use the oils and some recipes that you can take home and try. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, my favorite, some disclaimers here. We should be adults to view this presentation. If you use these properly, it will definitely turn a non-supportive oil spouse into a supportive oil spouse. If we do these properly, it could cause children. So, careful there. Don't say that you were never fairly warned. Contraceptions and oils don't necessarily mix, so be smart about it, right? Be smart about this, use common sense, and have fun while you're experimenting. So what happened to my libido, right? Let's start out with talking about libido. And this word libido is measured kind of in your desire to be physically intimate, right? Having ups and downs in your libido is definitely human, it's definitely natural, and it's not realistic to be on all the time, right? Just because your spouse walks in the room, although sometimes that does work a little bit easier on the men's side. Now, usually the root cause of kind of a lull or a dip in your libido is stress, right? And so we're going to look at some of that in a moment. And some of my favorite essential oils, which we're going to discuss here shortly, they not only help reduce the stress, but they also are used to boost libido as well. So there's a total win-win, right? Reduce stress and boost libido. Now, if you're like most of the women that I talk to, your libido may have taken a hit in various seasons of your life, and there is no shame in this. Let's look at some possible reasons for a slump. First up, we just talked about is stress. It's a big one here, right? Stress over relationship issues, kids, finances, just the day-to-day of managing a home. All of these can really strain intimacy and hinder our desire to be physical. Women, intimacy is not just about physicality. A man can look at his wife and be turned on immediately. A woman, her man could look at her the wrong way and she could be completely turned off, right? And just never be able to get there that night. So there's a lot more to this stress than just, maybe you had a bad day. It's so complicated, right? But there's good news. You can learn to manage your stress. In fact, stress is such an important topic that we teach an entire class on this one topic alone, okay? Now, next up is alcohol consumption. Now, this is interesting because sometimes alcohol can be used to bring down inhibitions, right? Which is sometimes a good thing if there's some anxiety around intimacy, but sometimes it can have the opposite effect as well. So just be aware of that. Hormones, of course, hormones are super complicated. We do an entire class on hormones as well, because it really does deserve a deep dive. And as women, we all need to have a better understanding of what we're up against each month and in the changing seasons of our lives. But if hormones have your desire in the bedroom down, then there are ways to help balance that, and then changes to libido can come over time. And finally, illness, right? So I've suffered for years with autoimmune symptoms stemming from a thyroid condition. And I'll tell you, anyone with a chronic illness can attest to how quickly any desire or need even for intimacy just flies out the window when you're struggling just to get by each day. So this is where we can be proactive at home with lifestyle changes, right? And then we can work with open-minded, right, progressive medical doctors whose approach has room for holistic practices alongside the traditional routes if they're needed, right, to bring balance to the body, right? So once we're really looking for homeostasis, this balance in the body, so that the hormones and the nerves, all this, everything can be firing properly, okay? So you might see yourself in one of these areas, or maybe your libido is like totally on point, which is awesome. So check yourself here, and then just continue to really seek after balance in each of these areas to, keep your libido good and strong and maintain intimacy in your relationship. Let's have a look first at how essential oils work. Maybe you've been to an Intro to Oils class before, which is awesome. If you haven't, let me know and I can send you a recording and we'll catch you up to speed. But let's talk quickly about how oils work so that you can have confidence, like I said in the beginning, that this stuff just isn't all in your head, okay? So if you've ever enjoyed the scent of a rose, right? So you're smelling a rose, you're actually experiencing the aromatic qualities of essential oils. It's what gives so many of our plants their aroma. And these are naturally occurring aromatic compounds, and they can be found in seeds, bark, stems, roots, flowers, and any other part of the plant. And they can be beautiful and powerfully fragrant. Now, inhaling, imagine you're smelling a rose, or you can get out, I'm going to get out a bottle of passion. We're going to talk about passion in a moment. Ooh, so good. When you inhale these aromatic compounds, they stimulate the limbic system, the part of the brain that's connected to smell. And the limbic system then in turn sends signals all around the body that can affect your mood and change the physical makeup of your body. So really important, really powerful way that we can use our oils is simply by smelling. Now, this uses the same pathways as anesthesia through a mask, right? When we breathe in the synthetic compounds, they too pass through the olfactory system, traveling to the limbic brain, and they send signals all over your body to tell your body to rest, right, to sleep. Now, depending on the unique chemical makeup of an oil, it can signal different things in the body. And I'll give you a couple examples that maybe will make sense. For example, lavender. Okay, now we all know that lavender is calming. Why is lavender calming? Because so many people said so? No, it's because it contains a chemical component called linalool that has natural calming effects, right? Now, what about peppermint? Peppermint is really uplifting, right? That's because of its unique chemistry. Now, the key to why oils work lies within these natural chemistries. And you don't need a PhD to benefit from the use of oils, but it really is truly fascinating to learn about if you're curious to dig into the chemistry of the oils a little bit, because that really is the key to why they work. Now, here's another interesting thing that we can look at. This is another way we can think about it. All living things have a frequency, okay, including the human body. And it's known that the normal healthy body has a frequency between 62 to 72 megahertz. And those around us pick up and respond to whatever type of energy that we are putting out. Have you ever noticed that? In my house, it happens all the time. If my husband comes home from work, tired, in a sour mood, yelling at the kids, I find myself then yelling at the kids and feeling grumpy, right? I am totally letting his vibe, right, his vibrational energy bring my vibrational energy down. So we can use our oils to boost and protect our own frequencies. Now, if this sounds like crazy out there to you, I get it. Do a bit of research if this interests you, because it's important. A body that stays at too low of a frequency for too long develops illness. And a sick body has a lower frequency than a healthy one. So using our oils every day to keep our literal body frequencies high is a really important component of holistic wellness, right? It's an amazing what frequency can tell us about a person's health. Now, super interesting, rose essential oil is one of the highest frequencies at 320 megahertz, right? We're going to talk about Rose here in a little bit, but it is no wonder that she is called the queen of oils, and you do not need to use a lot of her to really feel the benefit. Now, here's some tips as we get started. Of course, this class, this guide is not a substitute for medical advice, right? I still see medical professionals for my own family and our health needs. So if you have an issue that is seriously disrupting your life, then definitely talk to a medical professional. If you have sensitive skin, and in fact, I'm just going to go a blanket statement and say if you are using oils in the bedroom, you are likely to touch a sensitive area, so you're going to need to dilute, okay? So this is fractionated coconut oil. It's a wonderful carrier oil. Doesn't have a scent. It's a great lubricant, and it will make sure that you're using oils to the right dilution where it feels good, but it's not too much. Okay. Keep your oils stored in a dark, dry place. Okay, to keep them at their most powerful. You don't want to put them in a hot place or in direct sunlight. Oils can also stain clothing, towels, furniture, bedding, right? So be careful here. Ron and I will maybe, throw a towel down if whatever. Avoid using things like metal or plastic utensils or containers to mix and apply your essential oils. You want to use glass or ceramic instead because you don't want anything leaching out of the container. Okay? So there's a couple things to kind of set us up here. Now we can get back to libido for a moment before we get into the specific oils. So people for thousands and thousands of years, guys, have been using essential oils to increase sensuality and libido. In fact, ancient Egyptian writers and artists often created works of art that referred to scents and fragrances in the context of sexual relationships. And even the Bible refers to scents and perfumes and anointing oils as part of its sensual imagery. Okay. Now, back in the day, they didn't know why essential oils worked, right? They just knew that they worked. But now, with our cutting edge science, we can have a look kind of at that molecular level and uncover these beautiful mysteries of why our precious little drops of oil are indeed so powerful for our holistic wellness. And because we can get a molecular view of our oils, we can figure out what sorts of chemical properties each oil has. And then by those properties, we can figure out then what each oil is good for. For example, if you need a pain reliever, okay, you might go and grab Tylenol out of your cupboard, and what is it going to say? It's going to say analgesic. Analgesic means pain killing, okay? You could do that, or you can look for an essential oil with analgesic properties. Some of my favorites are wintergreen, copaiba, and even peppermint. Even lavender is a lovely analgesic, super gentle. Now, if you're having an allergic reaction, then you're going to reach for an antihistamine, right? But you also could use antihistamine essential oils to have that same effect. Okay, so we're looking at things like lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Okay, so what we need to look for with this particular topic is oils with aphrodisiac properties. Now, there's foods like chocolate, figs, oysters, strawberries. Those also have analgesic properties. Sorry, not analgesic, aphrodisiac properties. And now we're going to look at some oils with these same properties that help to boost libido and sexual appetite. Okay, so does that make sense? Oils don't work because we say they work, right? They work because of their individual chemical properties that do these certain things like relieve pain, stave off allergies, or make us more receptive to romance. I mean, there are dozens more properties too. So if you're reaching for something over the counter, have a look at the bottle and look and see what properties you're looking for, and then do a bit of research on the natural side and figure out which oils could be the right solution for your health needs. Because long term, the less amount of chemicals we can be putting in and on our bodies, the stronger our health is going to be long term. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to strengthen our appetite first. If you have a phone, pen, or paper, go ahead and get that out because you're going to want to take some notes here. These are some of the oils that you can stock up on to increase libido, sustain pleasure, and then just overall spice up your intimacy. So black pepper is first. Okay, this was new to me. I was a little hesitant to go ahead and do black pepper in the bedroom. But this warm, spicy scent, it's known to strengthen circulation, which is important, especially for our men. And it can stimulate appetite, right? Both literally and sexually. Use it in tiny, tiny, tiny amounts, my friends, alongside other essential oils. And it's really warming, okay? It goes best with floral oils like ylang ylang, rose, jasmine, and of course, please dilute. Please dilute. This one was surprising, but it really is Quite wonderful. Okay. Of course, I had to go and try all these out. If I was going to teach a class, I had to go and try them all out. So black pepper, that's a good one. Next up, sandalwood. Sandalwood is actually the oil of liberation. Fascinating, right? In the bedroom with our partner, we want to be free, right? We want to have a kind of an inhibition, and sandalwood can help us get there. Okay, so it's sweet, it's woody, kind of an exotic scent, and it enhances physical sensuality and makes lovers, of course, more sexually liberated. Okay, it's also considered a sexual restorative. So if there's been some pain in the past, sandalwood is great for clearing out the emotions in that pain. And it induces kind of a state of calmness and serenity and relieves nervous tension. So of course you can use this out of the bedroom for all of these as well, but in the bedroom it really is nice, and it really just the scent of Hawaiian sandalwood or sandalwood in general promotes emotional openness. So it's really nice. Now here's a little tip. Don't wait until 20 minutes before bedtime to start using this particular set of oils, right? I showered this morning and I put my ylang ylang on because it's my favorite oil for inducing sensual feelings or desire in the bedroom. So I will use my oils all throughout the day, especially because I have 4 children. My house is insane between like 4 and 8. And I'll tell you, if I don't start in the morning, 8 o'clock rolls around and I'm like, I'm dead. So if I have any hope of maintaining intimacy and romance with my husband, I need all the help I can get. So I'm starting early, right? In the morning. Now, next up, jasmine. I can't believe I just said that. This is recording. Here we go. Jasmine. Okay. Jasmine is wonderful, wonderful. It enhances mood and energy. It's super sweet and rich. Like if you think about this set of oils that we're going through, they're all very rich, very grounding oils. And this one in particular is great for arousing women. It has this kind of sultry smell to it, and it's been highly regarded kind of throughout the years to influence sexual troubles or challenges in the bedroom. So you can use it to diffuse. Personally, I do not diffuse my rose or my jasmine because they're such precious oils. I want them on my body. So you can also use this as a in part of a massage blend, and it really does help to lighten the mood and make things a little bit more flirtatious and playful. So add jasmine to your mix. Patchouli is interesting. It kind of has a little bit of a controversial scent after its overuse in the 1960s, but it's really woodsy and musky, and it's said to improve spirits and balance the libido. So after I learned that, and it's also kind of sappy, after I learned that, I started using my patchouli a little bit more, and I definitely have to cut it, right? Use really small amounts of it if you don't love the smell. If you love the smell, go to town. There we go, up my nose. I do love it mixed with some flower oils, and it's a really nice smell. Next up, we have peppermint. Now, you need to know which essential oils are stimulating and which ones are neutral, right? Your flower oils are neutral, right? They're not going to burn, they're not going to cool. They're just kind of a neutral feel on the skin. Peppermint, on the other hand, is not a neutral feel. So you're always going to want to dilute this one. It's fresh, it's cooling, it's penetrating. The smell of peppermint really gives us a sense of clarity and refreshment. So I keep a bottle of peppermint in my shower because it helps me wake up in the morning, right? But when you use it with a massage oil, peppermint can really add like a tingling coolness. Now, what can we do? Peppermint and black pepper together has this warming effect and this cooling effect. So that's kind of fun to play around with. But again, we're going to talk about dilution here in a minute. You literally need like nothing, like a little tap on the thing. The other thing is a drop of peppermint in the mouth can be very, very exciting for the other party. Okay. A drop is a little bit too much. So, just kind of like we do in the intro class, it's enough, right? Play around with that. and have some fun with peppermint, but of course, be careful. It's quite spicy. Next up, we have the queen. Stopping to smell the roses in life is actually very important for holistic health. The scent of a rose is supposedly really good for the heart, both emotionally and physically. And it also helps to improve our circulatory system, which again is great for the men in our lives. We want lots of circulation going around. And the scent of rose is really sensual, it's uplifting, it's really nice for pillow sprays or massage oils. And again, a little goes a long way with this one. And it's a really pricey oil, so you really don't even need like a drop almost. Or if you're making a pillow spray, maybe one drop is going to be enough for this. Now, next up kind of surprised me, but then when I did a little bit more research, it makes a lot of sense. Now, bergamot is created by, actually, it's a fruit, and it's created by, I don't have a fruit with me. It's created by pressing the rinds together. Okay, so this essential oil has been used for centuries in perfume. Okay, so it's spicy, yet kind of sweet, and it's been found to actually increase the number of amino acids in the brain. Fascinating. What happens when your amino acid levels increase? They trigger heightened levels of sex hormones. What does that do? It increases libido in both men and women. So I like to put a drop of bergamot in my tea, right? I want those amino acids in the brain having a little boost. Now, the scent of bergamot can often soften more intense oils like ylang ylang. Some people ylang ylang is a really strong scent, and it's really hard for them. They don't love it. I happen to absolutely adore it, but I know of a couple who don't love ylang ylang because it's just so strong. But this one, you can cut the ylang ylang with a bit of bergamot, and it softens it. Okay, or you could just use bergamot all on its own. So this is a really nice one to add to your collection. Next up is Passion. This is by and far one of my favorite blends in the emotional aromatherapy set. Maybe second to Motivate. Motivate and I have a love relationship going on. But Passion is so sweet and wonderful. So let's see. It has cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, clove, sandalwood, jasmine, vanilla, and damiana. Okay, so let me guess, you're going to want to dilute this one a little bit. Got a lot of warm, spicy oils in there, but it creates this warm, spicy scent that really kind of shakes up the predictability. So if you feel like you're in a rut in the bedroom, doing the same thing, it's not very spicy anymore, go ahead and put a little drop of Passion. What you want to do is you want to apply it to your pulse points, right? So pulse points are literally where you can feel a pulse, right? Where can you feel a pulse? You can also feel a pulse at your, what is that called? Like where you, like your hip, like on the side of, what is that called? Your pelvis, okay? So, and you want to do that maybe before meeting up with your loved one to rekindle feelings of excitement, and then maybe even prepare to push some boundaries in your love life. This one diluted kind of on the inner thigh is really nice, but make sure again that it's super, super diluted. If you ever find yourself in a situation where it's too spicy for you, that's okay. Just use a little bit more of your coconut oil and dilute it a little bit further, and then the effects will wear off. Okay, and then you can have a good laugh about it, like Ron and I do about our little story. My favorite, ylang ylang. This is considered one of the most powerful aphrodisiacs. It increases libido and attraction between lovers. So it energizes you, intensifies kind of this eroticism in the relationship, and it's actually good for sexual experimentation. So it's a floral. It's very powerful. It increases sexual desire, encourages attraction, and supports the circulatory system. Use it sparingly. I just love it. And it's different in the bottle versus out of the bottle. So play around with it if you want. Ylang ylang is a wonderful oil in the bedroom. Next up is a spicy oil. Remember, flower oils are not spicy and they're not cooling, they're neutral. Ginger is not a neutral oil. It is a spicy hot oil. It's sweet, warm, it's got a wonderful scent, and it just kind of makes you want to cuddle up. Think about like a I don't know, a cup of ginger tea on a cold day. The smell of ginger can actually increase openness as well as supports the circulatory system. Okay. So again, let's think bigger here. If circulatory system issues are an issue in your relationship, right? Um, then you don't want to just wait to the bedroom, right? Make some ginger teas, okay? Use other circulatory oils every day, not just when you need, you know, you need to get it up. Use it. Sorry, I'm trying here. I'm trying to stay compliant and I'm trying to not giggle my way through this. But use it often, more often, so that you can see better results when you actually need it. Okay. Be sure to dilute this one. It's quite warming. One of my faves, clary sage, also an aphrodisiac oil. So this one works by affecting the hormonal system to boost the mood and alleviate depression. When I first started with oils, I couldn't stand the smell. And now I just love it. It's fascinating how things change, how the limbic system and the olfactory system of your body changes over time. It has kind of a deep, sweet, kind of nutty flavor to it. And it helps to calm stress and lessen inhibitions to boost sexual desire. So this is one, again, you want to be using clary sage daily to help balance hormones all through the month. So this is definitely a daily use oil for me. And I'll put 1 or 2 drops in my palm with some of the coconut oil, and I will rub it over my lower abdomen and on the inside of my thighs every day, right? This is just one of those oils that is so good for the female reproductive system, for hormone balancing. My periods have become way less of a beast. My PMS is way better just by using this daily, daily, daily. Okay. This one might be interesting to you, lavender. Lavender is actually really good for relaxation and sleep, of course, but it also enhances feeling of sensuality. It increases the alpha waves in the back of your brain. So if you've not done any research on this, the different waves in your brain is really interesting. It increases the alpha, and so it eases anxiety and helps us to set inhibitions aside. So if you find yourself nervous in the bedroom, or maybe not wanting to try new things, lavender is going to be a really good one for that. And actually, one study revealed that one of the most common scents that enhanced male sexual arousal was a combination of lavender and pumpkin pie. Okay, so do we need to get our On Guard out? Right, On Guard has cinnamon and clove in it. I'm like, pumpkin pie, interesting one. We've got some spicy oils that we can mix with our lavender to help our partners be aroused. So that would be kind of fun too. Okay. Now, how do we use these oils, right? Now you kind of know you've got a little bit of options here. Maybe some of those surprised you. Maybe you've already been using them in the bedroom. Now you know you can kind of have a set. It's so funny. Every class I come and I find my oils to teach, right? All these oils are in my bedroom, right? Because we use them. And this is just one part of our world that has been enhanced by using these natural solutions. And so if you have oils in your home, put them where you're going to use them, right? So when I'm done with class, these are going to go right back because that's how you create these habits and these routines that, you might not have a routine yet, but you might look at it sitting on your bedside table and be like, maybe I'll give this a try tonight, right? But if it's out, locked away in a box in your medicine cabinet, you're not going to use them and they're not going to benefit you, right? So we can do a diffuser, okay? So you can make your own DIY diffuser if you wanted to, right? Like a 1/4 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of vodka, interesting. And then maybe 20 drops of the oils. And you can put like some small sticks or wooden reeds into it and make kind of a natural diffuser. Or you can just use one of our doTERRA diffusers. So easy. And for me personally, I like to kind of warm up a room maybe 20 or 30 minutes before bed so that, when the kids are in bed, I don't know about you guys, but in my world, we have to try hard for time together because if we don't, it's just not going to happen. If we don't prioritize it, it's not going to happen. So it's like 30 minutes before bed, you get this kind of routine down, and that just gives us a better chance of, our marriage staying really strong because we're kind of prioritizing this intimacy. Okay. Now, one of the best ways to incorporate oils is by like a linen spritzer. This is kind of fun too. Like 10 to 15 drops of your favorite oils in like a 2-ounce spray bottle. 2 ounce is, let's see, this is half an ounce. So 2 ounce would be 60 milliliters. So 4 of these little guys. And then you can spray your bedding or your pillows or lingerie with the scent of the oils. And that's going to kind of mix and mingle with your natural pheromones and kind of help enhance the mood. So you can really use any of the oils that we use today, and then make sure that you shake well before use. We're going to look at some recipes here in a few minutes. And of course, massage. The power of touch is really incredible. Again, you can use any of these warming oils, cooling oils, neutral oils with some coconut oil. You start by massaging the feet, right? That's going to allow the oils to quickly enter the bloodstream. And then, of course, dilute and be careful. And this can get kind of fun and spicy. So there's some tips for you about a massage. Things that start with a massage typically end rather well. And you can be kind of fun with your massage. If you're into reflexology, there's 2 spots that you can really hone in on to get things warmed up. So you can try a little bit of pressure and massage to the big toes and then right above the ankles. And you can give cinnamon and grapefruit a try. It's a really, really, really nice combination, and it tastes really good. Cinnamon is one of my favorites, but again, it is so spicy. So be careful and just use a teeny tiny little bit. Honestly, like just a tiny tap is of this is all you need. All you need. Okay. When using essential oils in a bath, you can't really just toss the oils in the bath. They'll just kind of float and you'll make a nice room diffuser, but you're not going to really get the benefits in your body, on your body. So you want to add a couple drops to a little bit of Epsom salt, okay, or even a little bit of vodka. Anything that's going to make it disperse a little bit better, and then you pour that into the bath water. And for a little extra romance, you can add some rose petals or lavender bud. That's kind of fun. Okay? So the next couple slides, you might want to take a couple screenshots here. Kindred Connection, this uses our wonderful rose or neroli oils. Neroli is also a flower oil. They both have that aphrodisiac property that we were looking at. And Big O Foreplay Blend uses the clary common ylang ylang that we talked about, plus this neroli. And you want to put this one over the lower abdomen, chest, and then especially within the inner thighs, okay, for that one. And then next up is a diffuser blend, which is wonderful. Uses 4 of the oils that we talked about today and wild orange. I love putting citrus in my diffuser blends, especially if you look at these oils here, clary sage, ylang ylang, passion, and Hawaiian sandalwood. They're all very kind of succulent, sweet oils. I love putting a drop of wild orange, maybe even a drop of bergamot in there to kind of cut that sweet and make it a little bit more uplifted and energizing. There's also a lubrication massage oil, which is incredible. And it's so safe for your body, right? So this is what I learned in my little opening story here, that we want safe. We want safe and natural and effective in every area of our world. And I can't think of a more important area than this one. So we can add beautiful body mist and then one of these oils to it. And the body mist is edible, okay, which makes nothing off limits, which is really nice, okay? Now this next one, let's see. Yes, this one is primarily for the men in our world. So Energizer Bunny keeps things going a bit longer than usual, perhaps. So we have sandalwood, jasmine, ylang ylang, and then the coconut oil. And this one is applied to the family jewels or his testicles, in case that's like not obvious. And it's gentle enough to not be overstimulating to the ladies either. Okay, because whatever you put on him ends up on you. So that's another thing that you'd be aware of. And then there's a bath salt recipe or two here. So ylang ylang and wild orange, and then jasmine and sandalwood. You put that in the Epsom salt, and then you add that to the water. And of course, it gets the bath or the oils to not just float on the water. Now here's a linen spray, and this one has ylang ylang, soft talk, and whisper. I'm sorry, soft talk and whisper, soft talk in China, whisper in other market, depending on the market you're in. And linen sprays will stain your sheets, so lightly spray them, right? A nice little mist, don't get super close because the oils will stain. And then another here using Passion and then Soft Talk. This time it's a perfume blend. And the cool thing about Soft Talk is that it actually changes its scent based on your own chemical makeup. So it smells different on everyone, which I just think is the coolest thing. So you're going to apply this roller like you would perfume on your neck, on your wrists. I like at the back of my neck. And, you might want to wear this throughout the day if in the evenings you're thinking that you would like some time with your spouse. And then finally, a warm up massage blend. Here's a wonderful, wonderful warming, cooling blend. Passion, peppermint, and ginger. Now, look at this dilution. It's saying total 5, 6, 8, 9, 11 drops in 4 times. It's 11 drops in 1,000 drops. Okay, it's 4 of these. Super, super diluted. Don't overdo this one with the ginger and the peppermint. You're definitely going to feel it. Okay. So as you can probably gather here, there are tons of oils that keep popping up over and over and over again in this particular category, again, based on their chemical makeup, right? So I definitely recommend getting your own stash and then keeping these oils in your bedroom where you're most likely going to use it. Now, of course, this is not me making up this content for you. There's loads of resources out there for you. This is just some that we used to create this presentation. And I hope that, you got encouraged and excited to really give this a go. But don't stop here, right? If you didn't find what you were looking for here, use your resources, right? There's the Essential Life book. And then they took this entire beautiful 500-page book and put it into the Essential Life app. So we can have all of this information ready and on the go. But don't stop there either, right? Pinterest, Google, Instagram, any social media will have loads more information for you. Okay? Now, ideally, on social media, you're looking for doTERRA oils, right? And a doTERRA wellness advocate sharing specific information on our oils, and use common sense. If someone tells you to use a spicy oil undiluted, you're going to go, nope, I'm always going to dilute my oils in this area. Use your coconut oil if you find yourself in a sensitive spot with your oils, as always. Now, if you don't have oils yet, but you'd like to give them a go, connect back to the person who shared this class with you, right? There is an abundance of natural health and wellness out there for you. This is really just one very specialized topic. If you go back to this, intimacy is on page 270, and it's going to be 2, 3, 4 pages out of a 500-page book, right? So much goodness available for you. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. So we have an entire community of people, like-minded people who want to support you in your journey. Now, doTERRA really offers us 2 things, right? We have the holistic wellness that comes from incorporating doTERRA's natural products into our daily lifestyles, right? The oils work, we have to work the oils. But there's also financial health as well. And one of my favorite things to share about is the financial opportunity, because as an educator, I never ever know what's really going to truly bless someone, the product side or the business side. The fact is, sharing doTERRA with others has radically changed my world and my life and my career. I've developed deep friendships around the world. I have the ability to give back, right, and use my gifts and talents to improve the lives of others. And I spend the vast majority of my time helping other women set themselves and their families financially free. So if this part of doTERRA interests you, then we have some time. Let me check. Yeah, I am going to stay on for about 20 minutes after we do any Q&A. So I invite you to stay on with me, and I'll share a little bit more about what partnering with doTERRA could mean for you. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy day to join me. I loved getting to chat with you, to share with you about my experience in this way. I hope that you learned something valuable. I hope that you're feeling maybe encouraged and excited to go home and try some of these things to really deepen your intimate relationships. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself. My encouragement to you today is to love intentionally, love naturally. And I wish you all a very happy and exciting Valentine's Day and month and every day, right? Anyone have any questions? Comments, questions? You can put them in the chat.
Thanks so much, Allie. I learned a couple things I didn't know, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sweet. Awesome. I love that. You're so welcome. Elsa, Frida, so glad to have you guys on. Maribel, lovely, as always. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so if you're gonna hop off, now is a good time to hop off. If you wanna stay on with me, then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna honor your time, and I wanna share a little bit more about the business side of doTERRA. Because if you identified as someone who could maybe would love to get their products paid for, right? Have free wellness kit coming in every month, and maybe someone who wants to supplement your income or even replace your income. This really is an incredible platform for you to learn how to do that. So I want to start with a story. This is what we call the Build Guide. You can find this, of course, I can send a copy to you if you'd like it, but I love using this guide to give a business overview of doTERRA for people. So we're going to start here with a story. And I love, love, love this story because it was totally me. And I absolutely resonated with this. So the story is about a man who hauled buckets for a living. And he lived really far away from the water source. And so every day he would walk to the water source, right? Take his buckets, fill them up, go back and sell his water to the village. Now, if he wanted to make more money, he would simply have to work harder or longer and haul more buckets. Well, this was fine when he was young, but over the years, right, he grew tired and he wanted a different lifestyle. So one day, inspiration came, and he decided that if he could build a pipeline from the water source to the village, he could be set free. And so he did just that. He spent several years building a pipeline. And the day he turned on the spigot in the village, everything changed, right? Not only was he able to provide water for himself and the villagers, but he had created this residual income for himself, and he finally felt free. Now, if you're like me, maybe you feel similar, right? Like you're maybe trading hours for dollars, and there's not a lot of fulfillment in what you're doing. But with doTERRA, every single one of us has the opportunity to share the power of essential oils with other people and build residual income, time freedom, and then to have that freedom for ourselves and to help other people to become free along the way. Now, there's a lot of companies that teach you how to use or how to create residual income. So why would you choose to partner with doTERRA? Now, doTERRA's mission, of course, is to bring the highest quality essential oils to the entire world, okay? An oil in every home. And there are over 9 million customers. So you can see my thing is a little out to date here. 9 million customers right now enjoying the benefits of essential oils and changing their lives and their families' life. Now in doTERRA, we have what we call a 65% retention rate. And let me explain to you what that means. It means that most other companies like ours, they lead with the business opportunity, and then the product is kind of secondary, right? So they attract a lot of business people um, that may or may not have ever been interested in the product. But what happens is when those people become not interested in the business anymore, then they stop buying the product. And so this creates a really volatile business for those people who are trying to really create something sustainable. But doTERRA is different. We are all about the product and all about product education. And people buy the product regardless of the business opportunity. In fact, most people in doTERRA, 80 to 85% of those customers never, ever, ever intend to make a dollar. They literally just buy the product. They're just customers. And so by focusing on the product, by focusing on education, by making sure that people are having a really great experience with our oils, living the natural lifestyle, then we can really grow very sustainable, very powerful income businesses. Okay. doTERRA is also a global company in over 110 countries, and 98% of our products are unique, meaning 98% of the essential oils that we sell are not being sold to any other company from the farms that produces them. So doTERRA's oils are not like any other oils on the market. And one of the things that I love most about doTERRA is that we're led by an executive team with a combined experience in the industry of over 150 years. These guys know what they're doing. And they're wonderful, wonderful human beings. I have had the privilege of meeting 3 out of the 7. And I would consider one of them a friend. He lived in Shanghai with us, and just an incredible, incredible family, incredible human. So I want to tell you a story about Haiti through the eyes of one of my mentors, Elise Chenevi. And now one of the things that's unique to doTERRA is we go into these underdeveloped countries and we help the communities, right? We just don't buy their oils and leave them. We invest. We teach them how to grow the oils properly so they have sustainable farming. We pay them fairly. We pay them on time, and then we give back to their communities. Now, Elise had the chance to go to Haiti a few years back and meet our growers. And they took her and a couple of her business partners, these other doTERRA wellness advocates, to a little village. And of course, coming from the West, she was just shocked at the poverty in the village. And this particular village was growing our vetiver. Vetiver is a wonderful essential oil, especially if you struggle with focus issues or sleep issues. It's a root. It's very hard to harvest because these roots are so deep in the ground, but it's a wonderful oil for that. And these kids there, they didn't go to school because their job was to go to the water source, just like that story I started with, right? To go to the water source every day and to fill up the jugs and to bring the buckets back for the villagers. And the water that they got wasn't even clean, guys. It wasn't even clean water. It was just, they were just very, very dirty children because there was just no clean water in this village. Lots of sanitation and health issues. Well, guess what? The day that this doTERRA group got there was the day that they had turned on their spigot. They had dug a well and they were turning on their water spigot. And you can imagine that day absolutely touched every single person who was present. I mean, can you imagine, right? They witnessed grown men and women lining up with buckets for the first time in their life, never having seen running water, and they were just in tears, right? That this could come to their little village in Haiti. And it really, really made me think, man, we take so much for granted, right? So guys, doTERRA does so much more than provide us with oils. They, in partnership with us, those people who are teaching and sharing, we're really changing the world and lifting communities, right? There's 2 sides of each bottle. There's the side with the growers and the harvesters and distillers and testers, and then there's our side, right? Those people who literally just get to open up a bottle and to enjoy the benefits of these oils. But man, all of these people are better because they have partnered with doTERRA. Really, really, really powerful company, what we're doing around the world. Now, there's so many different possibilities with doTERRA, right? Remember we talked earlier about 3 different types of people, right? The first type, they want to live naturally and share the oils with their families and make sure their families are healthy and well. The second type wants to share it with a lot of people, right? They can't wait to tell their coworkers, their mom, their friends. Maybe you're sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, so-and-so needed to be on this call, right? Then the third type of people is like, they want to teach and really change people's lives. They want to dig in. And as you do this, right, as you teach people about the power of essential oils, your life will also change. Now, as you get commissions from doTERRA, you can do anything, right? From buying your products to supplementing your income. I've seen a lot of people pay their mortgages, send their kids to school, start saving for retirement, or you can actually grow to the place where you can completely replace your income and become financially free. So if you'd like to start a doTERRA business and either share the product, right, host a class, build a residual income, talk to the person who invited you here today so that they can help you get started. We have every training system that you need to be successful. The only missing piece is you and your unique qualities that you bring to the table. Now, some of the most amazing things have happened to the people who have decided to really engage in a doTERRA business. This is, let me pause for a second. Let me show you this really quickly. This is what we call, I like to call the dream page. This is kind of the beginning ranks in the company, and you can see that no one gets to the top by themselves. This is a team sport. And if you look here, like a platinum rank, platinum means that you have helped 3 people get to the rank of silver. And silver means that you have helped 3 people get their products paid for, right? So it doesn't matter. There's actually 2 pages here. This is the top, and you can do, there's actually a triple presidential diamond. There's one woman who has done this 3 times, right? There's no cap, there's no limit. You can go as far as you want to go that works with your lifestyle and your goals and your vision and your dreams. Okay? So if you want a copy of this and you can read it a little bit more carefully, just let me know. I can get you a copy. So I want to tell you first about my friend Kate. Kate was an international school teacher before she got married and had kids. And of course, she loved her work. But after she became a mom, it became really clear to her that her priorities had shifted and she wanted the choice, right? She wanted more options in her world. She didn't want to have to go back to work when her kids were in school again. And so she started to build doTERRA in the pockets of her life around her young family. And it was such a blessing because they were repatriated to Australia from China in 2020, quite suddenly, and she was able to maintain her business. And of course, now with the added income, they're able to pay off their home mortgage faster, and she has the flexibility to work from home or anywhere really that there's Wi-Fi connection. In Victoria, Victoria was an expat for 25 years, and they lived all over the world. And her husband has always provided incredibly well financially. So, from the outside, no one would have ever guessed that Victoria would want to build a doTERRA business. But after an incredible oil experience with her daughter, she took one look kind of at that compensation plan that we just looked at, and she translated that into how many international adoptions she could fund with her doTERRA paycheck, and then she just jumped right in. So she's been building doTERRA now for about 6 years, and she earns enough now to be able to support more than one international adoption a month. And she's used her doTERRA platform to form a nonprofit that helps international families or other people to adopt internationally. And she spends most of her time helping other women to become financially free. And she has become financially free in her own right by doing doTERRA. And then for me, I love this. I love doTERRA because not very many years ago, I was working 40 hours a week in a company and 20 hours a week on top of that teaching English. We had 2 little girls home at the time, and this was really just to make ends meet, and they still weren't meeting, right? And I just knew that there had to be something better out there. I love working. I love impacting people, and I wanted a way to earn and provide for my family, while giving me the balance to be present for my girls. And so I started with doTERRA again 5 years ago now. And 3 years back, I was able to quit my job and focus on my family and build my doTERRA business as full-time as I can around my girls. We now have 4 daughters, and I have that time freedom to be a mom and build a career that I wanted. I'm at every performance, every school function, right? And I spend my time empowering and impacting others' lives through the power of doTERRA. And as a family, we are able to build the business and to live our dreams here abroad. So just like you, right, my story is not unique. These stories are not unique, guys. Again, there are thousands and thousands of people around the world who are engaging in a doTERRA business and really making an impact. So if you would like to build a residual income or even just get your products for free, like how amazing would that be? Talk to the person who invited you here today because they're going to show you how to get started. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us today for the product class on oils and romance. Also, this little basic intro to what the business could do. Of course, this is just designed as a conversation starter. If you have a maybe a little quickening in your heart, like, ooh, maybe I could learn more about that, definitely reach out, definitely ask for mentorship, and you will grow personally, professionally, more than you've grown, I promise you, more than you've grown in any other line of work. I can almost promise you that. So we look forward to seeing you again on another call. And I want to unmute now and take any questions. If anyone has any questions. Hey, Gigi, good to see you pop on.
Sorry, I missed the first part.
It's all good, friend. I have a recording. Okay, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and finish up. You guys are free to message me, of course, if there's any questions. But thank you again for your time. I value that. I know you could be doing anything or anything around the world. So thank you, and I hope to see you guys soon.